Dad was awarded the Order of the Palmetto by Nikki Haley and was designated as South Carolina's Bluegrass Ambassador. He put a lot of work into this, but he had fun. That was the thing. He loved bluegrass music so much. That's all he cared about was just spreading the word. That's what I want to do. I just want to keep it going.
I'm Devyn Whitmire. People from South Carolina, like myself, are proud of their state and everything it has to offer. But even we don't know every nook and cranny. So we're traveling to the most unique places in the Palmetto State. Some of them even we've never heard of. From Discover South Carolina, it's the Palmetto Porch. A music scene can often trace its support and longevity to a particular establishment, whether that's a store, a venue, or a place of learning. We are taking a trip to West Columbia to visit a place that's all three in one. Bill's Music Shop and Pickin Parlor, a place known to many as a hub of bluegrass music.
My name is Willie Wells, owner of Bill's Music Shop and Pickin Parlor. I've actually taken it over or stepped in. My dad has passed away back in 2011, and I've been here since, running the store and having fun.
There you go. Life's got to be fun. So why did your dad start this place?
Well, my mom and her side of the family are from around down this area, from down towards Swansea and so forth. And we were living in Chicago, north side of Chicago, when my dad had retired from the Navy.
Yeah.
But my dad has always loved bluegrass music, traditional bluegrass music. And so they decided when my dad retired that they were going to move down here. He wanted a place where he could reach out to people and say, hey, look, you have a place where you can come and you can pick and we can play together and just have a good time. So on that premise, that's how he started the Pickin Parlor, was to just to get people together and try to start introducing and developing bluegrass music here in South Carolina. This is the second location that that the Pickin Parlor's been at. The first one was over in Casey, South Carolina. It's about 2 miles from here. But the building was probably about an eighth the size of this building, and it grew so fast, people were filling the building up. They were picking out on the sidewalk. They were picking out on the road. So my dad said, well, I guess I better find a bigger place. So that's when we moved here, and we've been here since 1987.
Awesome. So for people who maybe don't know, what is Pickin? Where did that word come from?
Well, I think it's a term that musicians use, and I'm sure all musicians, but probably more so, say, bluegrassers or country music people. Pickin is just, let's get together and let's just start playing music. So we could pick all night. So it's pretty much synonymous to a lot of bluegrass, musicians and country music and so forth. So.
Right on. Can you share some of your earliest memories from the shop?
Well, I knew my dad was going to get into and start looking at ways to get back into music, because when we were living in Chicago, that's where the band that he started and created, Bill Wells and the Blue Ridge Mountain Grass, he started that band, and they were playing up and around that area and in the Midwest and so forth.
The Blue Ridge Mountain Grass band, you said he started that when y'all were in Chicago, but was it from Appalachia? Can you give me a little bit more of an origin story of the band's name?
The only thing that I can think of that why my dad would call it the Blue Ridge Mountain Grass is because my dad grew up in north of Kingsport, Tennessee. Mm-hmm. He was born in Kentucky, but the family moved to Gate City, Virginia, right outside of Kingsport. Well, they live, and I don't know how familiar you are with the Carter family, which they're probably one of the pioneers of country music. Well, my dad's family, they live right next door. They live right there by the Carter Fold. Being from that part of the country, I'm sure my dad, that's where he got the Blue Ridge Mountain grass. So from the Blue Ridge Mountains.
And then he ended up in South Carolina, which a lot of people don't realize the Blue Ridge Mountains are in the top of South Carolina.
Yeah.
Which is interesting. What did that look like growing up with music being a part of your family's day to day? How did you come to love music through your dad?
Well, my dad would always break out the guitar and he would start playing, and and he'd be playing music, country music. I'd be listening to bluegrass and early country music and so forth on records and so forth that he had, and really got into playing a little bit of guitar with him and him showing me and so forth. So that was probably my first taste of music, was him showing me, chords, how to play chords on a guitar and so forth. Once I had graduated from high school and went a year of college, I ran into a friend that I had, and he was playing in a country music band, but he was playing drums, and boy, drums just really fascinated me. I just thought that was great.
Yeah.
So I got, next thing you know, I got such a bug to play drums. And I'd played country and country rock for years, playing drums in a band that I had up there. My dad would always call me once he moved down here. I'd talk to him, about every week or a week and a half or so, and he'd tell me, he'd say, "Hey, I got some CDs here that some of the record labels and stuff would send him and all that." And he said, "I got some CDs. I want to send them to you."
Mm-hmm.
And I'd always say, "Are they bluegrass?" And he said, "Yeah, they're bluegrass." And I said, "All right." I didn't want to hurt his feelings. He would send me bluegrass CDs. So I was on my way to work one day, and I had them sitting on the seat in the car, and I took one of the CDs and put them in my player, and it was like a light bulb went off. I went, "Wow, this is bluegrass," and it really grabbed me. From that point on, boy, that was it.
You were back.
I just turned right around and I came right back to it, and I've been at it ever since.
So it's Friday night and doors are open. Tell me what someone's going to experience when they come to Bill's.
We will start an open mic portion of the night where a lot of the locals, and there's some locals, boy, they love getting on stage. So they'll come and they'll do their songs, and they'll sing a couple songs. And then at 8:00, we usually have a featured band, a different band every week. And it could be a local band, a regional band, or even a national band. But we try to give that level of entertainment so that people can come in and see a show. And they'll play from 8:00 to about 9:00. And then at that point, everybody will break out their instruments, and they'll get up in groups all over the building, and we might have a group up in the front up there that that are doing a lot of, like, say, country music and so forth. Then we'll have maybe a group or two in the big room here, and they'll be doing folk music or whatever. And then behind the stage, there's two rooms back in there that's where the hardcore bluegrassers get. There's all kinds of different music, and a lot of people think it's just bluegrass. It's not. As long as it's acoustic, then it's fine. But people have a good time. They just like to play.
Yeah.
And so they'll play, and they'll go till midnight.
Yeah.
Sometimes 1:00.
So no electric because of like an amp situation, or is it just truer to what Bill's is to be acoustic?
That's what it is. Everything is acoustic. So that's the way it is. And I probably wouldn't have to say anything. A lot of the people that come in here, if somebody came in here with an electric instrument, they'd go, "Whoa, whoa, whoa! You can't play that tonight." No, it's got to be acoustic. The basic instruments of bluegrass are the violin or fiddle, banjo, mandolin, guitar, and upright bass.
All acoustic.
All acoustic, and we can also throw in the dobro, or also known as the resophonic guitar. That's the one where you play, it looks like it's got a hubcap on it.
Uh-huh.
And they play it like a slide. So
Right.
A lot of bands use the dobro to, and it's an awesome instrument. So it's all acoustic.
Some musicians open up just a venue, or they just offer classes or instruments for sale. Why do you think your dad decided to make a place that does all three?
I think he wanted to reach out to more people. Some of the venues, they're closed most of the week, or they only open 1 or 2 days a week. And to me, that's sort of like defeating the purpose.
Yeah.
I want it to be, and we do here at the Pickin Parlor. We offer lessons. We sell instruments. I have a luthier that for repairs. We do dances. We reach out to a lot of different people that want to come in, and the biggest thing that we offer is it's a family-friendly atmosphere.
Yeah. Do you have kids coming in and picking?
Absolutely. We even actually do what's called a youth slow jam. So what the slow jam does is I have one of my teachers that teaches for us here. He'll take the music and he'll slow it way down, so that everybody can be accurate and they can, really feel the song. And then they'll start speeding it up a little bit, and they like that. That's a lot of fun.
What role do you see these kids playing in the future of bluegrass?
Before I took the Pickin Parlor over, I would always come down and for a week or so, and I'd visit with my mom and dad, and I'd spend time at the Pickin Parlor here with my dad. And so I got to know some of the kids. Well, they're not kids anymore, but I got to know some of them during that period of time. And one of them actually right now teaches fiddle, mandolin, guitar, upright bass, and he's a graduate of the music program at USC.
Yeah.
He's actually the South Carolina Country Music Fiddler of the Year 2 years in a row.
Incredible.
So he's really a good example. That's what came out of the Pickin Parlor here. We also have, my dad started a nonprofit organization, him and several of the other people that were part of the Pickin Parlor here, and it's called the South Carolina Bluegrass and Traditional Music Association. And the purpose of that is to promote and let everybody be aware of what bluegrass music and traditional music. So every year what the SCBTMA does is we all year long raise money through raffles, through workshops, through just different various things and activities that we do. And at the end of the year, we usually end up giving out about $5,000 in scholarship money to kids so that they can buy a new instrument or go to workshops or whatever to help enhance what they're doing. So we really try to put a real emphasis on the kids.
You've also said in interviews that you think bluegrass is about to break out to new mass popularity. What makes you believe that?
It's got a ways to go, but it's becoming so popular, and being the acoustic from the acoustic approach about it, I think people are really liking that. It's American music is what it is. Just like some of the other genres, now bluegrass is starting to have little spin-offs. Mm-hmm. And you've got newgrass, you've got jamgrass, you've got different styles. You got Americana. So a lot of that has derived from the acoustic part of music, and I think that's what really helps make it grow. Even and Billy Strings is more of more of a mainstream bluegrass, progressive type bluegrass, but it's still acoustic. It's still bluegrass.
So tell me a little bit about the people who come to the shop. Who's going to normally show up to Bill's? Do you have regulars, or do you have new people coming in all the time? What does the crowd look like?
We have people from all walks of life. Well, we've got construction workers, we've got doctors, we've got lawyers, we've got airline pilots. It doesn't matter. And the good thing about bluegrass is you don't have to have charts in front of you to play the music. Like a lot of different genres. I actually have people come in here from the orchestras because they want to learn how to play by ear.
Yeah.
If they don't have the music in front of them, they're lost. So they want to be able to come in here and play by ear. It's sort of a situation where it doesn't matter where you're at. If you're in a bluegrass jam, you can play it here or anywhere and fit right in.
So tell me a little bit about the instruments that you guys sell here. Has the quality or range of instruments evolved over the years?
They have. The instruments nowadays, when I say the instruments, there's you've got your Gibsons, you've got your Martins, you've got your Taylors, your Eastmans, and so forth that are all handmade. But for here, what I try to do is I try to have a little bit of a mix. I look for not only the vintage, but also the quality, good instruments that somebody would really want to be looking for. And then also I carry some of the manufactured instruments also. And I normally carry either the Teton line or a Blue Ridge, which are good instruments. I try to cater to the beginner or the intermediate also to make sure that they have a good instrument.
So your dad started the Blue Ridge Mountain Grass Band, and since his passing, you have been leading that band. What's changed since you've taken the lead?
Like I said, my dad was he was diehard traditional bluegrass. We had a national band that was loading in the side door over here, and we were standing back by the doors back here. My dad seen the guy walk in, and he was carrying an amp.
Uh-oh. So
my dad said, he started walking down this way, and he goes up and he said, "Say, son, what you got there?" He said, "It's my amp." He goes, "Well, I know. Well, what are you going to do with it?" He said, "I'm the bass player. That's my amp." He said, "You playing electric bass?" He goes, "Yeah." He goes, "You ain't playing that in here." He told him to take it out. He told him to get it out. And the artist, once he heard that, he knew, and he knew my dad.
Yeah.
And he said, "Bill, he'll play the upright."
Yeah.
So that's how strict my dad was, if it's not acoustic, you don't play it in here. So what's changed is I'm pretty much the same way, and I know some of these national bands, they have to, they change musicians all the time.
Mm-hmm.
I'm all about, the 5 instruments and just making good music. I told my dad, I said, "Look," because I knew he had a couple gigs still. He was so sick he couldn't fill the job. So I told him, I says, "I'll go ahead, I'll do it for you, and and if you don't mind, I'll keep the band going." And he said he'd like that. So I did, and I kept it going, and sort of had to rearrange and change a few things here to make it happen. Over the last 2 years, Christian Voice magazine has named the Blue Ridge Mountain Grass Bluegrass Gospel Group of the Year. We're really, really proud of that, and been on the charts, got about 4 number 1 charted songs, and we just try to just make good music.
So what has been the greatest challenge in continuing your parents' legacy and keeping the shop and the Pickin Parlor thriving?
I would say the biggest challenge is when I first got here, the crowds were, 150, 200 people in here. I couldn't believe how many people was in here. Well, as time went on, of course, due to attrition and people passing away and moving away or whatever, it started thinning down and so forth. So I recognized close to that time that, we need to start doing some reaching out to people and letting them know what we have here, what we do, reaching out to musicians that, hey, look, you got a place to come, just come and, jam. And by doing that, also, I can't tell you how many bands have started out of this place.
Yeah.
It's just, it's unbelievable. Every time I turn around, there's a new band started. This has been an opportunity for me to step into something that my dad started, and and really try to take it and continue on what he really wanted to do. I'm getting to the point where now I have to take a look at who am I going to turn it over to? And hopefully somebody in the family will step forward that keep this thing going, because it's I really think it's an important part of not only the community, but it also, it helps people. Music is therapeutic, I'm telling you. It's good for people, especially in an atmosphere like this. There's just nothing like it.
The Palmetto Porch is produced by Discover South Carolina in partnership with Pod People. To find out more about this town and all the towns featured on our show, visit scpalmettoporch.com.